Hello one, hello all. It is the most striped ghost of them all, Caspa in the Flesh, and it's time for a review of Zach Bryan, self-titled. Zach Bryan is a Oklahoman country singer-songwriter, and this is his latest release. And I know what people say. They say, I listen to everything except country. I don't listen to country. And due to how mediocre and trash the airwaves have been spewing country, it's really no surprise. But do not let the mainstream country music fool you. There's definitely greats out there. You got Sturgill Simpson, Tyler Childers, Chris Stapleton, who handedly has released the best country album of the decade. And you also have Zach Bryan and Adeem the artist. If you haven't checked out Adeem the artist's last album, check their album out. Even did a review for it, which I will drop below. But also one thing I should not leave unnoticed is Zach Bryan's success within the industry today with sold out shows, millions of streams, and how ambitious musically he is, if that hadn't been proven on his double album that he released last year, American Heartbreak, which was about 2 hours long. And also, I would like to give my gratitude to the resurgence of rustic instrumentation into country music that he and the other country singers I mentioned are bringing back to the folds, and I am so happy for that. And I know I missed the last album because I'm an idiot, but I am redeeming myself with reviewing this album right here. I admire immensely when an artist brings elements of other genres into one genre, such as Americana, such as outlaw country, such as indie, to keep things fresh and exciting. Or laying on some country soul with War and Treaty. And a huge standout to me being Holy Roller, which is an endearing cut with Sierra Farrell, as the two sing about not being over-religious, never been one to be over-religious, but finding God in each other's eyes, which I take as they have found purpose in each other and something to devote to, something larger than life, something larger than both of them. And it's very moving. I do love the coalescing of the two vocals on here. And it has a very speedy groove to it and a gorgeous pedal steel. And tender, beautifully plucked strings, and a beautifully strummed solo at the end. The one with Casey Musgraves, however, is the total opposite of that situation. It's a very painful breakup song where they're going over the times they had together, but are soaked in regret as Casey is sharing memories of her own with him. And God, the somber strum guitars on here is just emotionally wrecking. Along with the hook with touches of building lavish strings, just make it so much more epically sad, actually making me reminisce of this story and memories they're actually singing about. And there's a song with the Lumineers, which is actually a very powerful and compelling track. And yes, I said the Lumineers. It's a very stripped back, heartfelt track. I think the back and forths are fireworks. The lyrics reflect on struggle, them coming up during their struggle, and about he's saying things aren't supposed to be perfect, just make sure they're truthful. And again, reminiscing on the financial struggles they had, such as the lights cutting off because they failed to pay their bills, so they had to steal the neighbor's power while they were on vacation. Hope they didn't get caught. And the piano is very bright, it's very heartwarming. Hey Driver, as I mentioned before, is a very endearing, reminiscent track, piano-backed with a lot of soul, with War and Treaty, sounding great together as Zach is sharing words with this proverbial driver. At least I think it's proverbial. I think the, hey driver, let me off. I think maybe he is speaking to probably his motivation in opposed to an actual driver. And Michael gives a very impassioned performance here with probably the most catchiest hook on this album. Hey driver, you can let me off anywhere. And of course the solo tracks are heat as well. And one thing too is these tracks could get immensely sad, very sad, which may turn some people off. Like, this is not your feel good, Rascal and Flats, Florida, Georgia line shit. No, this is rustic, from the heart country music with heart-wrenching ballads of addiction, mourning, of coming up and facing adversity, facing struggle, which I would say is showcased on Overtime, that has these trembling on the verge of tears vocals from Zach on here. It's very grand with a rustic charm, triumphant horns, and boldly strummed guitar chords. Zach painfully sings about losing his family to alcohol addiction, which he has unfortunately inherited from them, and also facing adversary from naysayers, and also prevailing. Like, there is, like, even though this is a sad album, there is a lot of tracks with perseverance on here, with hopefulness on here. There's a lyrical theme on the inspiring East Side of Sorrow, where Zach is sharing his traumatic past of serving in the military, losing people close to him, asking for God in tumultuous times, and looking for brighter days, and just staying strong. And also, I love the motivation when it comes to the pacing here. I think the structure of the song is great, with these rapid drum rolls leading up to the uplifting horns. It's just a burst of strength and optimism. Fear and Fridays, a thumping country rock banger, where Zach's vocals sound immensely gruff on here, probably maybe the gruffest on this whole album. They sound so fiery, and I love the blazing harmonica solo, almost reminding me of Dylan in a way, as he's confronting this person as he feels he's being used in a toxic way. But to me, I feel this is like the personification of alcohol, and the intensified guitar playing. Woo! Following is a stripped back cut. Summertime's Clothes is an endearing ode to someone who picked him up while he was down, equating their beauty to the fire of Oklahoma and Carolina, saying that the stars in St. Louis aren't burning bright as this person. Dude is swooned. Also, we get the song Jake's Piano, Long Island, entirely backed with heart-wrenching pianos and organs. It has a very mournful gospel feel to it. It's very saddening. It's very soul-crushing, with lyrics like, best parts are here, but you're still gone. And he's striving to find happiness, but he is just struggling to find it as he is just battling with the fact that he has just lost this loved one. And the cavernous piano just sounds so dark, just sounds so cold and dark, really mirroring the soul of Zach on this track. And the vocals are vastly pained, like you could tell like he is trying not to break down in tears on this. El Dorado is certainly more brightful instrumentally, but still somber. And I do love how every time Zach puts out a ballad or a tribute to someone, it's very heartfelt. The pictures are very vivid. It's very personal. I absolutely hate when a ballad sounds so interpersonal and sounds like it could have just been made for everyone. But luckily, Zach does not do that. I think where the album does falter, though, is the production on here. I think Tradesman is drowning a little too much in reverb, and it sounds like Zach is singing from a tunnel. And also Smaller Axe, which has the, I guess, uninvited appearance of a bird just squawking in between his lyrics. It's very odd, and I just don't find it appealing, where you're like singing your heart out and all of a sudden you hear wah! Luckily, though, we do get a strong closer with Oklahoman Sun, which is a very seething and scathing diss to, I think, himself in a way, where even though he is feeling down and just going really hard on himself, he is still the Oklahoman Sun. He is still the star of Oklahoma. And that's pretty much the album. So overall, I am definitely feeling this. I think this is definitely another great country album this decade. Maybe not the greatest. I do think maybe the instrumentation could have been a little more adventurous. I mean, there were other elements involved, but I think it could have been above and beyond. I do think there are some production touch-ups that could have been done, but I think that songwriting-wise, Zach has it. Performance-wise, Zach has it. And yeah, he's just got it. And I think he's definitely one of the best in country music today. I'm feeling a 4 out of 5 on this album. Yeah, 4 out of 5. But it's just my opinion. Maybe you loved it more than me. I still love it though. Definitely the best country album of the year by far. And yeah, if you feel the same way, let me know. What did you think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? And that's it. Caspa, Gothic Ghost, Zach Bryan, self-titled. Till we meet again.